Hello there, this is Witch Nikki again. I decided to read more of this book, The Last Summer of World War II by Steve Tryk, who is my brother. So, the last chapter was so short, but I had already been speaking for a while. So, I'm sorry that this is... You're going to look at my brother's picture mostly the whole time. There's no pictures in it. None at all. Not even photographs. So, anyways, here's my brother in case you haven't. If you haven't seen what I'm reading about, go back to part 1 and then get started on this. Will be part 2. I don't know how many parts I'm going to do with this book. It's not very big. So I'm just going to see. I'm just going to jump in here and see how much I could read in this amount of time. This chapter is called Sarah Delivers Steve. So you remember that Sarah... Sarah Mae Dalton was a friend of Virginia. Payne was her name back in those days, and that is my mother, my brother's mother too. It says December 7th, and then it proceeds to tell more about this. He might have decided to change some information for some reason, but my brother was actually born March 31st, and my folks used to do April Fool's pranks on him. Anyways, so I don't know. This is just what it says here. December 7th, 1940. It's a boy, Mrs. Payne. It's all over now, Sarah Mae Dalton, alone with another older neighbor lady, worked with precision timing to help each other with the necessary clean sheets, hot water, and calming the young mother along with holding her hands and reassuring her everything would be all right. Here, Virginia, hold your son for a few minutes. The doctor's on his way. You're doing fine, Mrs. Payne. You just rest. You did real good. Now, back in those days, too, if people couldn't get out and go to a hospital, they just had home deliveries. I'm not laughing at that, but it makes it sound like you called up Uber maternity delivery. The doctor's on his way. You're doing fine, Mrs. Payne. You just rest. You did real good. Sarah Mae had lived on a farm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, most of her life, delivered Jenny's first son into the world. Sarah Mae Dalton was a mother of 12 children and 7 grandchildren. That's probably why local bystanders at a rural Greyhound mail pickup a few miles north of Albuquerque, New Mexico, decided to take the young traveler, Jenny Payne, to the window, Sarah Mae Dalton, after Jenny's water broke, while getting off the bus, and she started laboring. The young Jenny was traveling from her Whittier, California, to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, to be with her husband, Sergeant Leon Payne. Now, I've noticed that before he was called Loftus, and I have also met him on Facebook as Leon Payne. So I think he went by both, maybe, I don't know. Um, anyways, or maybe, I don't know. Anyways, plans have a way of changing, mostly because the army was moving troops around. Leon would have to move to New Mexico to visit Jenny from Fort Sill. Now, when he could get leave from the army. No one would have guessed Jenny would stay at Sarah May's ranch for so long, a year to be exact. Sarah May insisted Jenny stay with her till she was able to travel, but mostly the older Sarah missed having a family around, and the younger Jenny sparked new life into a less daily routine and filled the void of a lonely ranch. Tilt this up just a little bit. I don't want to. Sergeant Payne felt a serenity knowing his family was in good hands and being well taken care of. So, for the first year, the new family unit would live on the Albuquerque ranch with Sarah May. Although her name was Virginia, people called her Jenny. At 5'4". Oh, I think that's how tall she was. I don't know. The young mother, oh yeah. At 5'4", the young mother had a thick curly head of jet black hair and barely reached her shoulders and bounced when she walked. She had light brown eyes and gracious smile that would light up a room. The young mother was city born and bred from her white sidewalk pumps to red lipstick and a touch of eyeliner. She turned many heads, which is true. I'm gonna pause right now. I'm gonna show you a picture of my mom. She was just beautiful. She deserves to be showed. Okay, this here is a picture of my mom. Very beautiful. So, anyways, she had light brown eyes and a gracious smile that would light up a room. The young mother was city born and bred from her white sidewalk pumps to red lipstick and a touch of eyeliner. She turned many heads. Sarah, on the other, spoke with a charming Midwest drawl that was steeped with pure country. She was adorned with sandy brown hair, diverse with streaks of red and gray, and was tied up, showing her slender frame and sun-tanned neck. Her clothes were practical. She wore a plaid flannel shirt, Levi's boots, and had no reason to wear lipstick or eyeliner yet. Although in her early mid-50s, Sarah had a quiescent beauty she wasn't aware of yet, but with Jenny's creativity was about to surface and be the reason a certain circle of local bachelors would start dressing up on Sundays and adventurously start to attend church services again. My brother's got away with some words, don't he? During chores around the ranch, Sarah would be close by to answer questions all day long about what country life was like and why things were done the way they were done, like milking the cow every morning, early, the same time every day, so she won't dry up. That was one of Jenny's first tasks, fetching milk. There was a music box. Just decided to play a little tune. Um, okay. That's one of the Jenny's first tasks, fetching milk for her growing family. The Green Ranch hand caught on quickly, never shirking hard labor. The young Jenny enjoyed pulling her weight around the ranch. During the evening time when they shared a quiet fireside chats over coffee, it was Sarah who asked the city girl, "What's Hollywood like? Did you really see Mae West in person? What was it like having lunch with Dale Evans and Roy Rogers?" Amid the chores of feeding, grooming, and caring for cattle and ranch stock, Sarah taught Jenny how to shoot a .22 caliber rifle. One day, while the new ranch hand was out feeding chickens, she noticed a plump jackrabbit. Dinner, she thought to herself. The plump rabbit sat watching close enough to shoot with the .22 rifle. Sarah May and a few visiting neighbors heard the shot from within the house and came out to confirm the kill, while the proud Jenny stood over her prize with a wide grin, teeth shining with her rifle cradled in at high port. Sarah spoke. "Jenny, dear, that's not a jackrabbit. You shot yourself a coyote." Oh dear. Jenny's grin waned into gloomy Mona Lisa. Quickly, neighbors in the group clamored out, "Hey, that's the SOB that's been tearing up our chicken coops. Good shooting, Jenny." Jenny's fading grin burst back into the early brilliance. After leaving Albuquerque, the expecting Jenny, along with Sandy and Steve, arrived at Los Angeles Union Station 3 days later and moved into an army-arranged housing at Dana Strand Village, San Pedro, California, just before Christmas of 1941. So, yeah, what's kind of going on here? And I kind of laughed the first time that I read this. I was like, he's kind of making up a story, but at the same time, there's a lot of facts that my mom has told us before. And a lot of, things are the same, like the names and stuff. But I know for a fact he was born on March 31st. But I guess this makes the story what he wants to make it. We all have a right to do that, add a little bit of here and there. But there was a story one time about, it was a different place. My mom must have gone through a lot of coyotes in her day, because she told me another coyote story. I don't know when it was, but I think she had all three kids at that time, and she lived in Texas. And it was snow. She said it was snow, and she lived in a house with other women and maybe a few other kids too, and they were all hungry. Real hungry. There's like a snow blizzard type thing happening there. Well, there was a farmer across the field, across whatever, and she went out there to go, and he had hung up coyotes, probably for the pelts, I guess. Well, they just thought, hey, meat is meat. and they had to eat something. So she went out there. My mom said she went out there during the snowstorm. And she took down the coyote, and then she brought it back. But nobody knew how to skin it or do anything with it. So, and then they started thinking, well, what if the farmer saw us? What if he sees the tracks in the snow? So she took it back. She dragged it all the way back. So, and it must have been pretty close to morning time, because the farmer did come out, and they were all watching and waiting to see what happened. He'd come out there, and he kind of scratching his head, like he saw that there was footprints leading back across the way to their house, and then coming back, bringing it back, and hanging it back up, because he had known how many coyotes he had out there, a few, and so he just was standing there kind of dumbstruck, what the heck happened here? That was a story that my mom told randomly. Oh, sorry about that. At least I'm still going. So, should I do another chapter? It's only been 16 minutes. Oh, it's a teeny tiny little page. 4 years later, it says on there. So, oh, Ruby, she's just getting all, why am I talking? Why is she? Okay, I'm going to try to finish at least this little one right here. See if the other one seems like it's a little bit longer. So I'm going to just stop at this one little one. 4 years later, it says. May 1945 now. 4 years into World War II, and America was still going strong on the assembly line, pushing out tanks to go to England. Over 5,000 made in the USA tanks wound up in Europe. Battleships were needed to go to the Pacific Theater. Islands in the Pacific needed everything from landing strips to lard and asphalt to artillery. Americans were still buying war bonds to help pay for the aircraft carriers now being launched at more than one a month. Women pilots were flying squadrons of airplanes to England. Battle-weary troops were eating a new energy pill, military mill. Basically, it was a little bite-sized chocolate pill covered with protective sugar coating to keep it from melting in the soldiers' hands while in the battlefield. These little sugar-coated chocolate snacks were called M&Ms for short for military meals. You guessed it. These military meals, M&Ms, are still on the market today, and in half the lunch boxes across the country. It seemed that nearly everything made during the early 40s that was geared for the war effect stuck around after the war ended. I can remember my mom telling me all kinds of stories about World War II that I might remember as we're going along here. But anyways, this next chapter, I'm going to leave it for that for right now. It's a few pages long. And my dog Ruby's acting like she wants to go outside. So I'm going to stick this here. Now we're going to read The Fourth Year at Dana Strand Village the next time that I read. I find that these little videos go pretty quick, and they download quicker if they're not so long, like a half an hour or so. So I hoped you enjoyed the little bit of the last summer of World War II by Steve Tryk, who is now deceased. I love my brother, despite all the water under the bridge and everything. When somebody in your life that you've had bad words with, on both sides, he started it. He started it, Mom. Here's my mom again. He started it, Mom. He did. And you know the truth now. I'm not going to go into it, but I do love my brother, and I did love him all through 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 2020. Every once in a while, he might have sent me a little text message, happy birthday. And then I would get so happy, and I would think he's gonna, we're back. He's gonna write to me, and I would write back, thank you so much. I love you so much. Then he would say, did you come to your senses? And I would say, what do you mean? He says, who you going to vote for? Who did you vote for? And all that stuff. So I just let it go. I didn't want to talk about it with him about it. And I know I might have said some things too, because he was just making me so mad. And the more that 2016 went on, and 17 and 18 and all those years, I don't want to even think about it. But I love my brother. He promised, and my brother, and my other brother, and my sister, who also died, she died very young. She was 21 when she died from cancer. So, yeah. They all wrote on a little piece of paper. And it was so faded, but I kept it. My mom gave it to me one year before she died. And I kept it all these years because you hang on to what you can with family. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Give me some thumbs up, please, for my brother and my beautiful mom. She told me she was 16 in this picture in high school. Now, a little bit about that too. She was smitten by this Mr. Payne, Sergeant Payne. She was just smitten by him, and he came to pick her up one day from high school when she was 16. And she told ladies in the office, she says, my boyfriend's coming to get me, and I'm going to leave home. I won't be back. And she didn't go back. She didn't go back to school. She dropped out to be with him. She started her life as a mom very early. She had problems with her stepmom that I won't go into right now. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But anyways. Now, the reason why I'm kind of stumbling over some of the words and stuff, because I'm trying to, it wasn't really well edited, but it's a good read. It is a good read. I must say that. And there isn't any going back and changing it. It is what it is. Written by my brother. And he went through high school, but he didn't go into college. My other brother went into college. And I was just a kid, so I don't really remember, but I think it was the Vietnam War that he was in, that they were, well, my other brother didn't go into the war. One brother did, and I'm pretty sure it was around the same time, so it was either that one or, I don't know, because I was just a little kid, and I'm pretty sure it was that. So anyways, y'all take care, and I'll be reading this again. Bye.